In the world of Ald Amora, monsters and humans live in harmony with one another. Humans care for monsters, providing food and shelter for them, while monsters lend their power, magic, and might to humanity. All was well for 1,000 years. The world prospered, and war was a thing of the past. But that all changed when the elder and wyvern, Arumat, the wings that shake the heavens, laid waste the grand city of Dinaris Mal, leaving thousands of refugees in her wake. Soon, too soon to be considered coincidence, monsters around Aldamora started attacking, their powers causing havoc and destruction on the land they once loved and cared for. 5 years has passed since then, and though things were clearer now than they were then, there are still many, many questions that were left unanswered. We know that the beloved monsters were being poisoned, a poison that caused horrible wounds and would send them through uncontrollable rage. We know the speed that it can infect other monsters: fast, deadly, efficient. We even have a name for it: false gold, after the shiny liquid that the infected wounds produce. What we don't know? Well, we don't know where it came from. We're afraid, and so are our monsters. But that's where our school comes in. Or rather, our library. The Tenarius Mall Specialist Academy grew out of the 67th Historians Society Library, a library filled with all the knowledge of folklore, religious beliefs, and cultural practices of Aldemora. This specialist academy was the first of all the specialist academies that have come out and have produced medics who are more than just doctors. They're warriors, inventors, cooks, magicians, drivers, chemists, inventors, heroes. And heroes are what you need against monsters. Not to fight them, but to heal them. Welcome from the library. Act 1. Snasher. And we're back. Sorry, I had to do a little bit of clicking there. But hey, welcome to the first episode of From the Library. And I am here with all these wonderful people that I am going to let them introduce themselves to you. Let's start here at the top with Zad. Who are you and what do
Hi,
you like?
my name is Ed.
Sorry. Yeah,
Hi,
whatever.
my name
Yeah,
is
go ahead.
Should I go now?
Yes.
We got one more.
No, just go.
Okay. Hey, my name is Zad Kielvaski Huff. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Zad in green, Zadkiel in green. Pronouns are they, them. I am the creative coordinator for the Game Woven podcast, and just super excited to be here to play a weird swamp farmer trying to wrangle monsters. I will be playing Fen. Fen uses they them pronouns. Again, just like a I don't know, swamp farmer who moved to the big city for college and is having a great time.
Perfect. The next in line is the lovely Arya.
Hi, my name is Arya, she, her pronouns. I'll be playing Carme, who's a little spacey, pun intended. And yeah.
Sweet. And Next is Lynn.
Hey, I'm Lynn, she, they, and Grim Art pretty much everywhere. And I'll be playing Kay, also she, they. Um, Athlete, food delivery driver.
Last but not the least, we have Bees.
Pass.
No.
No. Hello, everyone. What is up, all you wonderful, beautiful beings out there? I am Big Bees. Really just a loud guy on the internet. I am a variety streamer. Sorry, there was a bug right in my face. Nope, it is still there. Come get. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Have extreme ADD,
The
obviously.
standard bees intro.
Yep, there we go. But yes, I am variety streamer, speedrunner, tabletop, RPG content creator, pixel artist, game designer, do a whole bunch of things. Yeah, I think I missed some, but I don't know. I will be playing Craigery, and he is just the best being out there. Very anxious and loves making food because it helps him calm down. And yeah, I use him, and I believe Gregory does as well. And my brain completely went blank because now I'm wondering if that Nat is going to come back with friends to get revenge, and then I'm sitting here, everyone else is having a good moment, and I'm like, you know. So
It'd be
yeah,
pretty natural if it did.
that's it. I'm out.
Speaking of Nats,
Thank you for joining us.
thank you for joining us. So thank you for introducing yourselves, and you're already here on my channel. I'm Glyza. I will be your guide. I will be your storyteller for this evening, and I will be playing everybody else. And I'm gonna be honest with all of you. All of the NPCs that you're gonna be hearing are all gonna be named Basic White Boys, because that I have a brand, and they're all gonna be Basic White Boys names. Anyway, we start this episode late at night. Everyone is asleep. Everyone is asleep. Maybe falling asleep. Who knows? But people are asleep. That. What's Fen doing?
It's difficult to say exactly what Fen's doing. Fen is sleeping, but Fen is also floating, just floating through the night, and the sound of a chorus of crickets, and near to a fire that is burning, casting shadows around the forms around it, around a one form that is hunched over, one that's listing heavily to one side, one that looks long and shaggy, and then one that looks like it could be a collection of people. And as the dream continues, Fen steps forward and joins the circle of forms around the fire. And this is maybe not necessarily the most representative of, in the way that dreams are, this is the feeling of it. This is what is communicated, though it might not be literal. The first time we heard a million screams was at the old Northgate Market, the day that the city we only speak of in curses flew away as laborers and craftsfolk in the odd shops were beaten away by the sticks of fortunate thugs to the jeers of rich men. The next time we heard a million screams, we fought tooth, claw, and nail to teeth, claws, and nails, because it was that, we thought it was that, or to join the muck, though we joined the muck anyhow and found that it was simply not so bad. The next time we heard a million screams, came when the grandsons of rich men returned to steal what little they'd left behind for us, and we drowned their unfortunate thugs in a sea of grassy mud. After that was a million screams of "Leave us be," as strangers came to say that we could lay down our arms we'd set by, should there be more teeth, claws, nails, or rich sons. And to their credits, the strangers took only our hospitality and left only maps where we might find them if we changed our minds, which we did, by the by. The first time I heard a million screams, they were drowned out by guitars and molos and horns that I had never seen, but I had heard the names of and knew by their sounds, amid the writhing euphoria of more people than I ever suspected could be in one place, feeling one way, and the girls I'd met just an hour or two before kissed each other and then turned to kiss me, and then we danced. Am I a disappointment? I asked the one-eyed grandmother, the father with one leg and half a hand, the scarred bison eel, the wary gaggle of uncles who followed the strangers near a week to make sure they were away. No, they said. We danced too, they said. And then we heard a million screams, and together we turned towards them. And it had been a pleasant dream. I hope I have it again. And work needs done, we said. And that's where Fen wakes up. Fen hears what I presume sounds like a chorus of a million screams. And it's just like the hard cut away from the dream imagery to a small room, just kind of like face down, and they're lying in bed in the moonlight, and I think sits up so quickly that they bump their head on the ceiling of their small room. They have a lofted bed. Their green hair is kind of a mess. I think they've still got some makeup on from the night out, wearing just like a pretty simple tank top. And I think they collapse back into the bed for a moment and then give a deep sigh and roll off, because it seems like there's probably work to do.
Speaking of following that, Bees, how did you fall asleep? Bees?
Oh no.
Did he
Did bees
disconnect?
freeze?
Oh, no.
Well, I was worried I had frozen for a second.
I was
there.
too for a moment.
I'm like, oh no.
Well,
Just like everybody goes very still.
Oh.
but he's back.
Hey, he's back.
See,
Oh no.
Oh
Jinxed
no.
it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well.
Jeez.
We'll come back to Bees.
We're right back.
We'll right back to Bees. Aria,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
how's Carly doing tonight?
Carme, I think, is having a dream that she's had many times before, which she finds herself working in the dome underneath a completely black sky, with distant stars far above her. And she is in the process of rehoming a sapling, and planting it in fertile soil along a very cobbled, gently curated path underneath the dome's protection. It's very quiet for her. It's one of those dreams where when you have it, you can't differentiate between it being real and it just being a dream. One of those sort of chore dreams where you swear you're doing the work and it takes somewhat of an actual toll on you. And when you wake up, you're going to look back and realize, oh my gosh, I didn't do that at all. But this particular dream turns slowly to a nightmare when a stark crack forms above her and she hears at first what is a small hissing, rapidly followed by the horrific notion where she stands up, rushes to the nearest door, but before she can make it, the hissing gives way to a crack, and then what sounds to be an enormous rushing scream of air ricocheting throughout the entirety of the dome as the roof bursts outwards and sucks all of the oxygen and trees and plants and dirt rising up quickly into the ethereal emptiness of space itself. And she manages to hold on to the door frame, air screaming past her ears louder and louder until she wakes up stark white, a little drained of color, and realizes that that was a diegetic noise, not just the dream. Yeah.
Bees.
Testing, testing. You good? I know you had a minute. Are you okay, Router? You good? Okay. Router seems okay. So sorry about that, y'all. So I think Gregory is writing in his journal, and it's not really like, it's like half journal, half recipe book, and it's probably like a good paragraph of just like the basic kind of what happened in the day, and then it's a line down the rest of the page, and on one side it's practical ideas for recipes, potential recipes, and then it's just outlandish balls to the wall ideas for different recipes that may or may not work or end up being used as a weapon instead. So he's just kind of writing there, kind of going over his day. And I think, like many times, falls asleep while doing that. Kind of positions himself in a way that when he does fall asleep, he doesn't fall asleep on his notebook, because he's done that before, and it really sucks to drool all over your notebook and then have to deal with that after. So definitely doesn't want to make that mistake again. So as he drifts off to sleep, he notices, like, he comes to, and he's in a field. Just plain field, nothing remarkable about it. Gets up, walks around, and notices these they kind of look like badger bears, like a mixture between the two, but they're cubs. And he goes over and he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out some feed, and he goes, like, slowly moves towards them, holds his hand out, and they come up to him and they start feeding out of his hand, and he pets them and everything's fine. Gets up, starts to walk away, and gets nudged in the back of the leg by one. And so he looks down and says he doesn't have any more food, starts to walk away, and notices that they keep following him. So he's looking around for any kind of parental unit, because one, he's not really capable of taking full care of these cubs, and two, doesn't want Mama Bear to get the wrong idea and come after him. So looks around for a while, sees nothing. So he decides to take them in and walks into his humble abode, which resembles a kind of, the best way to describe it is like a hole in a mountain, similar to a hobbit house. So he goes in there and kind of leaves the door open so they can come in and out as they wish to, and sits down and starts petting one and tries to figure out what he's going to do with these creatures. As he's sitting there, he hears a scream and he jumps up, runs outside. No one's around. So he just kind of looks at the cubs. They look at him and he goes back and sits down. Few minutes later, he hears another scream and he again jumps up, runs out, sees nothing, sees no one, stays outside, keeps looking around, and hears a different scream from another direction, and then another one. And it starts small. It's just a scream here, a scream there. And as he starts heading towards the sounds, they start getting louder. But it's not just that. They start to grow in frequency. They start to, then it's two screams at a time, or it's one followed directly after another, until it keeps going and he keeps trying to run towards them. And it seems that the path he's running on never ends. It is just the same plane that he's running towards, these screams that start to group up in a cacophonous, terrifying, just overload to the senses. And he starts to cover his ears. And as he's covering his ears, he notices that it's not drowning anything out. They are just as loud, if not louder, growing in oh my God, my brain. Growing in, my brain is frozen. I'm sorry. Just growing in how loud they are, for lack of a better term. More and more, until the point where he drops to his knees and goes to scream to say something, and notices his voice joining the chorus of screams, and finally wakes up and kind of does the same thing, where he wakes up and like jumps up, his head hits the wall, but because of his big afro, it just kind of bounces off. And he looks around, freaked out, breathing heavy, and then looks back at his notepad and flips it about halfway through to where he has a bunch of writings from before, and they're all his nightmares. So he flips down and starts just furiously scribbling into it. And yeah, just kind of like looks around and it's like, I don't want to go back to sleep, so let me try and find something to do. Maybe I'll start cooking something. I don't know what time it is right now, but I want to do any and everything I can to keep from going back to sleep.
Awesome. Lynn, what's Kay doing right now?
Kay has done what I've done in the past, which when you read at night, sometimes you just fall asleep and the book kind of just covers your face a little bit. As Kay's reading transitions to her riding her swift beast Zippy, bounding across the city, across the rooftops of Tanaris Mall, vibrant colors. The sound cityscape as the wind flows through both their feathers and hair. Zippy's talons are outstretched as the jumping is gravity-defying and much more gentle than it would be normally. Sun is out, not a cloud on the sky, as they bound and leap, as the pleasant sounds intrude into what is a soft hum, and then gets louder, the screaming, as the gentle palette turns into a vibrant and stark red, as no matter how far Zippy runs, no matter how far that Kay tells her to run, the buildings get higher and higher as they block out the sun, as the screaming gets louder and louder, as everything starts to disintegrate around her, as the screams just become overwhelming, and sound and visual stimulus kind of like combine into one, into like just like a painful static, as Kay kind of like wakes up like startled and kind of just like yells out a little bit, startling the Zippy, whose large black eyes just kind of look at her from across the room in a expression of concern, as she wanders over next to Kay and just puts her large head in her lap, and in a gesture of comfort, as Kay just like, no, it's okay, it was a dream. Oh, it's all right. Well, stroking the top of Zippy's head until both of them kind of like calm down enough, but they can go back to sleep.
As you're all in the midst of this, just waking up from your various dreams, remembering the sounds of screaming that you've heard. 5 minutes later, 5 minutes pass, you hear these same screams again. But this time you're awake, but you hear a million screams in your head. And it doesn't stop. It keeps going. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It feels like it's gone on forever. And then it screeches to a stop. And then each of you receive a text message on your phone. It's from your mentor. And it just says 2 words. Well, 1 word. The other part is a number. It says 534 now. You're aware enough of your mentor, well, maybe not Carmi, but the other 3 for sure, at least knows that when a number is sent, that usually means please go to the library classroom, room 534, as soon as you're able. But in text mode. What do you all do?
I think by the time it actually hits my phone, I've already been like, I think we get the text, and Gregory, you get a knock on your door,
Hmm.
the door to your room.
Hmm.
Fen Fen cracks the door open and sticks their head in. You can see that they're wearing like a tank top and a light jacket, light work jacket. They've put on a pair of kind of loose fitting, but like very durable cargo pants that only go down to about like mid shin, and they're wearing their boots. They stick their head in and say, did you get the message?
You see his usual kind of very big and fluffy afro is normal except for one side that's pressed in. You can tell he's been sleeping on that side. And you just get a bunch of like mumbles because you open the door and look in and you see him with his jacket on and his shirt, and he's right now like trying to put on his pants, and he's like hopping around on one leg while he has a bagel sandwich in his mouth. So he's just like so, and his
Oh, weird
glasses
dream,
are
huh?
like halfway on his face.
I think Fen steps the rest of the way in and just kind of like very delicately pushes your glasses the rest of the way in place. So did you make me one, or is that just for you?
He kind of just looks at you like, really? And then finishes putting on his pants, takes the sandwiches out of his mouth, and then looks over to the right, and you see a little saucer there with an identical sandwich on it.
All right. Thanks. Knew I could count on you, CK. Pats you on the shoulder, grabs the bagel sandwich and heads back out into the kitchen living room of our apartment.
I hate that name.
I think at that point, Carme would have stumbled out of her room. She's got on coveralls that she keeps wrapped around her waist, kind of black bandeau, and then a very borderline military but kind of tech jacket, black tech jacket that goes partway down with a high collar, no lapels. And she's kind of throwing herself still together, like she's got one arm out of it. She's like still tying the waist of the coveralls, and she's just like, "What's a 543?" She sounds very panicked by it. Is that a code?
Yeah, no, you're new. I forgot. Sticks like goes back into Gregory's room, grabs the other bagel sandwich off of the desk, passes it like to bring it to you, says, that's the code for the room in the library we're supposed to head to.
Oh, and she, like as she's saying, "Oh," she's just putting the bagel sandwich in her mouth too.
Wait,
Just
why did you? No,
What's not for me?
no, this one was yours, and like hand picks up a little bag, and just goes, "Well, I get here. This one's yours then."
I'm so sorry. I didn't.
No, it's not your fault.
Okay,
It's someone who can't be patient.
who's that?
He just like slowly turns, and just looks at Finn like,
Wow, listen,
Carme
This is
looks
massive.
past
We had
Finn
I
and
had
is
a
just like, "Who's behind them?"
So
it's a 3-bedroom apartment.
So it's a 3-bedroom apartment. So 3 of you come out of this 3-bedroom apartment. And you make your way towards the library. Kay, where are you coming from?
She's leaving her apartment, which is a little further away, but she's gonna put on like one of her just sweats and jacket, like probably from the same front there from the previous day, and just like put a headband on. Um, grab grab a snack for Zippy and like head off. And I think what she's gonna do is she could get a coffee beforehand, and then riding Zippy, she's probably gonna get there pretty fast. So she's gonna sit outside, drink her coffee because Rick's not
Can I
outside.
get like one little
Hmm.
thing in?
Hmm.
So we're all like the 3 of us, since we live together, we're like huffing it through. And at one point, like one of Fenn's ears kind of pricks
Hmm.
up, and then they reach over and they grab the bag with the bagel sandwich in. They listen for a second, and then just like throw the bag with the bagel sandwich up, and like Zippy grabs it as he for Zippy.
She.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Zippy grabs it, like just lands. Zippy just snatches it out of the
Hmm.
air as you guys are passing over the top of us.
Hmm.
"Where?"
You know she loves your cooking.
Yeah,
A full sandwich.
yeah.
Damn it! And you turn around, and he's holding another bag, and he's just like, and throws that bag at Finn.
I think Fen like opens it and grabs the bagel sandwich out, rips it into 2 pieces, hands one back to Gregory, and then offers the other one to Carme.
One bagel.
Uh, Fen
Everyone's had a
shrugs and
sandwich but
starts eating the
you.
other one. Oh, no, I've got mine.
Mm.